Rishi Sunak has admitted that not enough asylum claims are being processed, but promised to fix the system. It came in a heated Commons exchange with Sir Keir Starmer. The Labour leader told the PM to start governing for once and to get a grip of the broken asylum system. Yeah, all right, Keir, OK. I mean, some would argue that Tony Blair started it, Jeremy Corbyn wouldn't have fixed it and he supported him. But we won't get stuck into that now, will we? Today, at least 4 councils have taken legal action against the government, with hotels in their area no longer taking reservations because the Home Office has booked all of the rooms for migrants. I want you to tell me whether or not you want your local council to do the same. Are you going to email your local council, get in touch with them and say, hang on a minute, I want you to join this legal action fight now against the migrant hotels? What do you think? The local authorities across the UK, some of them Labour, by the way, are saying that the plans impact their tourism revenue due to the hotels being in popular tourist destinations. One thing I've got as a solution is just find a hotel next to where Gary Lineker is and lob them all there. But they've also said that it risks local jobs, breaching planning rules and putting additional pressure on already stretched public services. So exactly what we could all see coming, a flipping mile-off, isn't it? Of course it was going to impact all of those things, but those things don't matter because we've got to be compassionate. An interim injunction was granted last week for Ipswich Borough Council after the Home Office planned to house roughly 200 asylum seekers in a 4-star hotel in the area. A lot of people raising questions as to why they all have to go to 4-star hotels. I'm wondering whether or not we just have too many 4-star hotels, but there we go. It comes after 39,500 people have now crossed the Channel on small boats so far this year, costing the British taxpayer more than 6 million big ones every single day. The government aren't just facing criticism and pressure from groups here in the UK. Earlier this afternoon, check this out. The front on this, man, more front than Southend. The Prime Minister of Albania, Rama, has hit out at the UK for suggestions that Albanians are coming to the UK to get involved in gangs, despite the fact that they are. He tweeted targeting Albanians, as some shamefully did when fighting for Brexit, as the cause of Britain's crime and border problems makes for easy rhetoric but ignores hard facts. Repeating the same things and expecting different results is insane. Just ask Einstein. It doesn't take Einstein to work out exactly why he's saying all this stuff. I'll come on to that in a minute. But 70% of the 140,000 Albanians who've moved to the UK were living in Italy and Greece. 1,200 of them are business people. Albanians in the UK work hard and pay tax. That's quite enough of that. We've seen enough from him now. There we go. Take him off. So, yes, I mean, some people would argue it doesn't take Einstein to work out that a lot of them are currently working in the drugs trade and the money that they're getting from that is going back to Albania and they're certainly not paying tax on it, are you? I wouldn't expect a cocaine or a cannabis dealer to be employing an accountant anytime soon. But thank you very much, Rama from Albania. Joining me now to discuss this is Stephen Woolfe, Director for the Centre of Migration and Economic Prosperity. Thank you very much. I was going to ask exactly what orifice the Prime Minister of Albania is talking out of, but I don't think we can discuss that at this time of day. He's got more front than Southend, hasn't he?
He's got more front than anyone that I've ever known. This is like one of the cheekiest things any Prime Minister of any country could say. We already have our security services, our high-end police, the border force, all indicating that the Albanians are taking over the marijuana situation in the UK from those in Thailand. We know that they are massive in the cocaine sector and controlling huge chunks of the north of England. We know that they're smuggling in high-end cars. We know that they're in people trafficking and the sex trade. And for him to suggest that these Albanians are all coming over to start their own businesses, yeah, maybe the businesses they're thinking of is another cocaine section, another marijuana section. But that is the truth of the matter. This man is whistling in the wind. The facts are that people in Britain are suffering because of the crime wave that's coming from Albania and because our border forces are not returning them or moving them out of the country to Rwanda or somewhere else.
I can't help but wonder how well Albania is actually doing out of this. Good old Rama there discussing the fact that, hey, why don't we let it all go? They're taking it back in wheelbarrows, aren't they? I would imagine the Albanian economy is currently doing rather well out of the fact that people are shipping drug money back to his country.
Well, if you look at the wages, or someone suggested that they're only making an average between 5,000 and 10,000 euros a year as a young man working over there. And the police came out with a report that only yesterday they discovered £300,000 in a package, in a bag, being taken back to Albania, and another 500,000 in a car. They're the ones that are being caught. So we know that they're obviously shifting millions back to Albania. If they're shifting millions back to Albania, what are they going to be doing? They're going to be buying the houses, repairing them, buying furniture, buying cars. All of those are going to help the Albanian economy, just as we saw with the Romanians when they started illegally coming over here before they were given the right to stay here freely.
Stephen, let's just bring it a bit closer to home and let's talk about Ipswich, Stoke, Great Yarmouth, East Riding. I'm doing my Ricky Gervais impression there, Didcot, Yateley. But seriously, though, these places now, the councils, one of which I think Ipswich anyway is Labour, are saying enough is enough. They're launching legal action against the Home Office. They're saying you cannot keep filling our hotels full of migrants, illegal immigrants, asylum seekers, whatever, because it's damaging the local economy. It's costing people their jobs. It's knocking down the house prices. There are safety concerns, and it is also putting increasing pressure on our already stretched public services, and let alone as well what they're doing when they actually end up staying there with the local rental housing stock. Forgive me, but has no one been listening to people like you and I for the last few months? I mean, this has been patently obvious, isn't it?
Well, we know that all the 2- and 3-star hotels have been booked up. That's why they're moving to the 4-star hotels. But, Patrick, let's look at this very clearly. Where are the hotels that the Home Office is booking? They're booking in the poorest white working-class areas of the East. They're booking into Labour Party areas where people can't have jobs. They're already pressure on schools and hospitals. I don't see them booking the whole of the Brighton hotel sector where people in Brighton say, welcome the migrants with open arms. I don't see them filling up the London 4- or 5-star hotels, which I believe they should be doing. I live in Winchester. We've got 2 big hotels in there. Winchester loves the idea of having migrants coming into it. You see them campaigning in the streets. Let's book the hotels in Winchester. Take out the whole of the marketplace for accommodation and those who want to go on a holiday to Winchester. Put them in the rich areas. Start putting them in the middle-class areas. And let's see how they feel. Because you noticed what happened in America, Patrick. The moment that DeSantis shipped a whole load of migrants from Texas into Martha's Vineyard, the tears, the cries, the upset that they're coming into our leafy, gorgeous areas, let's get them out of here quickly, because that's the double standards of the left, and particularly the rich left. Not in my backyard. Give it to the poor working class and let them suffer the consequences. We've had enough, and so have those councils. It's about time we saw real change.
Yeah, and our very own Nigel Farage, by the way, has just tweeted, keep your eyes peeled for this, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a whopping great big exclusive on his show a little bit later tonight. Some devastating opinion polling for Rishi Sunak on how the public feel about this migrant crisis. Make sure you tune into that. It's damning stuff. But if he keeps dumping them, or the Tories keep dumping them in kind of working class Labour areas, part of me thinks, OK, fair enough, because if they voted for Labour or whatever, then, this is kind of what you get, because that's maybe what you would get under Labour, frankly. But I think what they should be doing is something I think you alluded to, which is, why not slap them next to Gary Lineker's house? Why not slap them in Islington or places like this? Because once people, I think, these people, Stephen, just one more with you, these people say, oh, look, we need to be welcoming, we need to have this incredibly diverse refugees welcome centre. You know what a lot of those people do? At the first possible opportunity when they earn money, they move out of the big city, they get out into the leafy suburbs, so little Horatio and Walter can go to school in a predominantly white school where there's no crime or anything like this. And actually, why don't we slap a load of these people there? Because then, frankly, they might change their minds about it.
Well, I got the same agreement to you. King Charles, before he became the king, argued that the Rwanda policy was wrong. But he has a huge estate in Scotland where he's got the city the size of Liverpool of land. We could put a tented community up there in his property. Would you see that happening? Absolutely not. You've seen the footballers on their knees, Black Lives Matter, let's protect all the migrants. Well, I tell you what, to all those footballers at Manchester United and Liverpool supporting that, open your homes in Hale Barns and the leafy areas of Cheshire. Let's fill the hotels around Cheshire. Instead of having football agents, let's fill them with the migrants, because you'll be looking after them, giving them dinner parties in your big estates, won't you? The answer is they won't. They are hypocritical. They're liars when it comes to their belief that they support others. What they believe is not in my backyard, but in somebody else's. And maybe the government should adopt a policy that says anybody who believes in this comes out on Twitter, we're going to second your home and take it over and put the migrants there. Now let's see how you believe in the consequences of your own words.
Well, yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. I mean, see how Hugh Grant likes that. Thank you very much, Stephen Woolfe. Great to have you on the show, Director of the Centre for Migration and Economic Prosperity.